Yeah. Hello viewers, I welcome you all to Food Diaries once again, and today we have a very special guest with us. I'd like to introduce to you all Dennis Tangsong. Well, Dennis is a lecturer and a food production teacher at the Numero Uno Institute of Professional Studies, or as we all know as NIPS. So Dennis, welcome to Food Diaries.
Thank you.
It is indeed a privilege to have you on our show. And without further ado, let's get on to some cooking. We'll see some of his culinary expertise today.
Sure.
So Dennis, tell us and tell our viewers, what do you have in store for us?
So for today we are going to do mapo tofu, which is very close to my heart also.
All right.
So when I was a young kid, my grandmother would always prepare that for us, you know, as a comfort food for us.
Yeah.
So, you know, we would always make that.
Yeah,
So that
right.
is one of our dishes.
Okay.
And then the second one is during, it's dandan meat, which we call it.
Okay.
It is from the Sichuan province.
Right.
And then it's on the spicy side.
Right.
But I have experimented here in Shillong, and then, you know, many people did love the concept of dandan meat, and because other restaurants and all that, they do not sell them.
Okay.
So when I did a cloud kitchen back during the corona outbreak, so it was a pretty hit.
Right.
So that is why I am going to cook that also.
Okay.
And then for, you know, the third item would be stir-fried long beans.
Right.
Okay, so it will be mostly like a saute vegetable, which will go along very well with the dandan and the mapo tofu also.
Right.
So like first we will be boiling the water for our rice noodles. So while we wait for the water boiling, okay, so I'll just turn on the gas so that we will first start with the mapo tofu.
Okay.
Alright. So I'll be using sesame oil, which is much a healthy option. And
Right.
in the Oriental cuisine, we use much of sesame oil,
Right, yes.
not refined oil or
Yes.
sunflower oil. So this is the first thing for mapo tofu. First we're going to add the garlic. Once the oil is heated up, so we're first going to add a little bit of garlic.
Okay.
You know, a little bit of garlic. Just let it fry for some time and all that. Okay. So while the garlic is cooking, our water is ready.
Yeah.
So always remember, you know, to always add, like whenever you're boiling noodles, we
Salt.
always add salt.
Yes.
It's for the texture, and
Right.
it has a different bite to it.
Yes. Yes.
So we always add salt. So this is also boiling, this is also cooking. Always also I will ask my viewers also to see whether, you know, to take care of the garlic, because we don't want it to
Burnt.
burn also.
Yes.
So once that is done, then we would add peas.
Okay.
So peas is one of the ingredients we put for mapo. So slaughter a little bit. So we added our peas, because so I'm going to cover it also. Once we cover it, we're going to allow this to cook. So this has already come to a boil.
Yeah.
So again, the tricky part with rice noodle is that we do not boil it like as we boil normal noodles.
Yes.
Right. So once the water comes to a boil, what we do is that we just, you know, let it submerge in there and let it cook with the heat. So there we go, the dandan is in. We just want to put this, you know, in medium flame again. This one in low flame. So always remember, whenever you're cooking, to always keep an eye on, you know, the flame and all that, because
True.
you don't want it to get burnt and all that. So once we are done, we're going to shift this. We're going to keep this here. We're going to allow the noodles to cook. So we're going to allow this. This has already come to a boil right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do is that we're just going to turn this off.
Okay.
So that once this, we're going to use this water also for the
Right.
tofu.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is going to cover this. So the peas are almost done. So, you know, we're going to transfer the peas to a smaller pan.
Yeah.
And then we're going to keep them here. So we're going to check the noodles right now.
Yeah.
So you see, so these are almost done. I would drain it after some time, but not entirely done, because you know the bottom also has to cook
Yes.
properly.
Yeah.
Alright. So So now we're going to go ahead with the mapo tofu.
Okay.
So for the mapo tofu again, so this is on again. So we put a little bit oil.
Yeah.
So now we're just going to do
Right.
it for the chicken.
Okay.
So I would just say like 5 ml would be enough, depending upon your intake of oil also. But again,
Well, ideally, I think nowadays everybody is conscious of how much oil is being used. Yeah.
so the lesser the better.
Yes.
And then I would again recommend cooking in non-stick pans if you do not have
Right.
a wok and all that.
Yes.
So again, we'll wait for the oil to get to heat properly, and then we're going to put our chicken in.
Okay.
So the chicken is almost done. Most of the water has evaporated. All right. So what we're going to do is that we're going to keep the chicken either in front or either in the side. All right, and then we're going to add in a tofu. So we're going to keep in a tofu. Also, like when you cut the tofu, I would recommend this big size,
All right.
like paneer.
Okay.
So because if you make it any smaller, again it disintegrates.
Right.
So we do not want that.
Yeah.
So we're going to mix everything again. So mostly you can do it, if you don't know how to toss, you can just go slow and steady, with the tofu, because again it's a very delicate item.
I think ideally tossing,
Yes, tossing is much better, but again for tossing,
you would have to be skillful in it.
yes. So it's just for the
Firstly.
viewers.
And
yes.
also because it's tofu, you don't want the pieces to break while you practice your art of tossing, right?
Yes. So now we're going to add the peas. The peas are like already half done.
Yeah.
So again, the tofu is also going to release a little bit of moisture,
Yes.
but that's good in a way. A little bit of moisture is going to release. So like if our viewers would like to toss or experiment and all that, I would suggest them to always like keep the pan like really hot, and then you go along with salt. If you do have green onion, just throw a bit there, because it just gives a nice look to the dish.
Yes,
So
yes.
you just give the long ones, and just toss them. And for our viewers who doesn't know how to toss, again you can use your spatula, and then just go slow and mix them all together.
So this is already looking very wholesome, healthy, and sumptuous at the same time. Yeah. Yes.
So I'll just again add a pinch of pepper again,
Yeah.
just for taste. And it depends on our viewers also, whether if their intake of pepper is a bit large, they can add.
Yes. Yes.
But if the intake is a bit less, it's alright. So what we're going to do is that we're going to let the residual heat cook
Yes.
the dish again. So we're going to keep this aside, and then now we're going to concentrate on our sauce, which is the Szechuan sauce.
Yes.
So a little bit, just say 5 ml or maybe 2 teaspoons of oil, and then we're going to put in our garlic. Remember that when you make Szechuan sauce, the amount of garlic which you put should be quite a lot.
Yes.
Because that gives the original flavor.
Yes. Yes.
So I have cut it like this because in the end we're gonna grind them.
Right.
We're gonna grind them so that everything, the tomato, the garlic, everything incorporates together, and
Yes.
it comes to a nice thick sauce.
Okay.
So the garlic is almost done. You can see the color here is changing
right,
already.
Right.
Right. So we're going to use tomatoes out here now. We're going to put the tomatoes in. So once this is done, again for the tomato to become a bit soggy, always remember to add salt to it.
Okay.
Because salt again dehydrates any particular food item.
Yeah.
So we're just going to add a pinch of salt, and then we're going to toss it. So what we want out here with the noodles is that we want an al dente.
Yeah.
Al dente is like a French term for to the tooth, but like
Always leaving a bite, not
yes.
absolutely fully cooked.
Yes. So like the only way you know it's al dente is that when you take them out.
Yeah.
And when you cut from the in between.
Yes.
So you'll see a very small white line.
Right.
So that means it's al dente.
Okay. All right.
So once you see that,
yes,
then you can wait for some time.
Yeah.
So this is still a bit more. It needs a bit more to cook and to soak in the water. Our tomatoes are almost done. So guys, this is one of our students from NIPS. He's here helping me out. Without him also, this it would be very difficult for me to host this show. Also, he has been a great help to me also. Okay, so I'm going to ask him to grind since I cannot move much. Alright, so do you see we have already ground,
So in this case, what kind of dried chilies are different kinds? What have you used?
I have used a normal red dried chili.
Okay.
But since I'm from from the northeast, I recommend to use the miso red chilies, the dry ones.
Yeah.
Those are really aromatic.
Okay.
Yes. So this is almost done. We're going to put this inside. So first we're going to grind this.
Yeah.
After once we are done grinding this, and then we're going to add few more ingredients into it, and then we're going to have a taste test.
All right.
So now we see that the noodles are almost done here. So this is going to be the star of the show.
Yeah.
So our sauce is already done. You see.
Yeah.
It's nice and thick.
Yeah.
So this is what we want. So we're going to keep this. Once the pan is hot, we're going to keep this in medium flame, and then we're going to add our Szechuan sauce mixture. So why I put it on a lower flame is because it does this. What happens is that it's thick, Since the sauce is thick,
it will be spluttering.
It tends to it splutters everywhere, and then you're just going to get a mess in the kitchen. So that is why, like, before adding the sauce or the mixture, what we do is that we just put the flame little bit low. So because we do not want the splutter. Okay. So we're gonna put this really low. Remember, like, since I did not put oil in, this is again on stick. We're not going. We just have to shake them. Move it little bit, and then we're gonna add our hoisin sauce.
Okay.
Our hoisin sauce also not too much. Just for the color.
Yeah.
So again, we add, say, if I had to measure it, say 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce. 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce. That would be enough. And then after that, we're gonna add our oyster sauce.
Yeah.
Again, same proportion, 2 tablespoons.
Yes.
And then after that, we have something called Chinese spice.
Okay. Yes.
Now this is very important because now this gives the flavor to it, like this proper seasoning to it. So after adding the hoisin sauce and the oyster sauce, our color would just change little bit to a darker version. And then to bring it a bit red, I'll be using a little bit of food coloring.
Okay.
You can use the orange one which you get in the market or in the stores. So again, just sprinkle a little bit of the 5-spice powder because this is again really strong.
Yes.
So I recommend again using a little bit. So give them a nice mix. So this is almost done, and then now we will add a little bit of chili flakes just for just for the heat, little bit. Once that is there, then we have something called Chinese seasoning.
Yeah.
So we can add this. We can add this. So I opened it because it gives a very nice flavor to it. You'll know how much is required because when you add it in the beginning, can you please pass me the food? So out here I have put food coloring already
Yes.
taken out.
Okay.
So this is the orange color one. So after adding hoisin sauce, after adding oyster sauce, you know, you see that it's a bit darker in
Yeah.
color, right?
Yeah.
So again, we're not going to use much. We're just going to use a little bit. So, but again, we're going to adjust the color again. So our sauce is done, our noodles are done.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to fry. I'm going to again cook the mincemeat. Then
Yeah.
I'm going to add the sauces, and I'm going to keep it aside.
So with this, we go ahead to the other minced chicken.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So since I'm going to cook the noodles in this, so
Yeah.
I'll be requiring this pan.
Yeah.
So I'll have to plate it right now only.
Yes, yes.
And then we're going to keep it aside, and
Yeah.
then we're going to first fry the noodles.
Yeah.
And then once the noodle is done,
Yeah.
then we're going to put the meat, cook the meat, and then we're going to add the sauce.
Yes.
And then our second dish is done. So we're almost done. Again, I'm not trying to move it so much.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
want the tofu to disintegrate or anything. So this is almost done. It's heated to the proper temperature which we require.
Yeah.
Alright. So we're gonna plate this. Because I'll be cooking the noodles here.
Okay.
Alright. So just for our viewers to see, what is in store for them if they plan to cook this. So we call this mapo tofu.
I think even the eyes do a little bit of feasting.
Yeah.
And this already looks very wholesome, very healthy.
Again, as a chef, we always have something back, like at the back of our head, we call plating. Okay, so this would be the dish, and then I would garnish it later. For the dandan, I'll be using the small pan because again with the plating and all that. So again, sesame oil as usual. We're going to take a bit of garlic from our inventory, which I've already cut. So I would just say a little bit garlic. For the people who love garlic, can put a bit more.
Yeah.
So this flavors the oil also. So we're going to take on the noodles a little bit. So I'm used to this since I work in the kitchen. So whole day I use. So I don't feel the heat so much in my hand. Tiny bit of energy. Okay. The oil is already there. It's giving it taste. So just move it around and
It's just like a very quick stir fry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a very quick stir fry. This allows actually, since rice noodle is already bland itself.
Yes.
So why do we do this? Is that to give a nice, just to give a little bit of flavor. I would say, to the rice noodle, because the sauce does the trick.
Yes.
You have to mix the.
But you can't just put the noodles in hot water, get it blanched or get it cooked and eat out of that, because then it would be really bland.
Yes. Okay, so this is almost done. We can see that. So we're just going to plate it here. All right. I'm going to plate it slowly. So this is done plating. Okay. So again, so the pan is clean. So as you see, the pan is clean. So now we're going to, it depends on you. If you want veggies a little bit on your dandan, that's also a good option. So if you want to give it a more vibrant color, I would suggest, taking some of bok choy, which you get easily in the market, easily in the market, and then, just put it in, put a little bit of oil, spread it nicely, and then just, fry this. Out here, even the same process goes with the, how you did the noodle, but out here we do not add garlic.
Okay.
Because we want, just the taste of bok choy itself. A little bit more, just for the, the hard white part, to get cooked. And then you can plate them on the side, or you want to put them in, on top.
Yeah.
It just depends on you, but I like it on the side. So you see our bok choy is almost done, So I like it on the side.
Yes.
And you can keep it on top, you can keep it anywhere, but I just like it on the side. So just go slow with it, and then keep it on the side just for the color purpose. So you see there's a bit of water from the bok choy. You can keep that inside too. It's just because we added salt to it.
Yes, yes.
So that way. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead with our meat. Again, I'm very conscious about my oil intake, so that is why I add very less
Which
oil.
is a good thing, conscious
Yes.
cooking,
Yes.
not just conscious eating. I think is also important.
That's
Right?
very true. So our pan is already hot because we already fried, the noodles, the
Yes.
bok choy and all that. Now we're going to add the meat. Now the meat is going to release juices and all that. So when you even mince the chicken, it doesn't have to be like fine mince.
Yes.
It can be like even like if you desire to see chunks in it, you can add chunks to it, like how I've done it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like it's more appealing. It looks like we have added a lot of meat to your dish. So that is what I do. So I just do this first. I'm just going to keep it behind so our viewers can see. Now we're going to go with the stir fry.
All right. Yes.
So now our pan is already hot.
Okay.
So we're going to add a little bit of oil again. So the main star of this dish is the beans actually.
Yes.
So first we're going to put in the beans. You don't have to cut it small. It has to be whole. So we're going to put in the beans. Once the beans are in, again we have to remember to add salt.
Yes.
Little bit of salt, because why? We don't want to add an external source of water. Say suppose we don't want to add water to it for it to boil. So I'll just clean this. The extra noodles are here. Just clean this, and then cover this up so that the beans will cook properly. So right now our chicken also is cooking. It's releasing its own juices. So again, you can shift again depending upon how you want your dish to be or how fast you are. So we're gonna wait till till the water evaporates. We're gonna wait till the water evaporates. So while the water is evaporating, what we're gonna do is that we're going to add our Thai spice powder.
Okay.
So now this is going to flavor your meat.
Okay.
So not too much, just a little hint. Just a little hint to it, and then mix it, toss it, let the water, allow it to spread around the meat, coat it nicely. Okay. Then we're gonna add a little bit of salt because I want the flavor to penetrate right inside.
Yes.
Okay, and then a very small pinch of MSG again, and then mix it. Now there comes the star of the show, the Szechuan sauce.
Yes.
So it depends on you how much Szechuan sauce would you like.
Okay.
So for me, I like it also a lot, so I put it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because this is, you're going to mix all of this with the noodles.
Yes. So you do require some gravy for the noodles.
No
the
gravy,
sauce
the sauce will be enough.
Yeah,
Because
that's
once I mix everything and all the sauces will combine and all that,
Yeah.
and I'm going to place it on top of the
Yeah.
noodle. Okay. So again, little bit of, hoisin sauce. Say a teaspoon.
Okay.
Teaspoon, because you already added it to the sauce.
Yes.
Little bit of oyster. Oyster will give a nice flavor to it. And then you're gonna stir fry it. So when you're gonna mix it, like say suppose like it's a bit salty, it doesn't matter because once you mix it with the noodles, it's gonna neutralize.
Yes, yes.
Done. Okay. So we're gonna place it on top. So we're gonna plate it. So now we're going to turn this off. Take out the beans. Hope so the beans are, almost cooked. Like partially, I would say. beans are almost.
I think the beans should be too soft.
Not too soft. We can see that, since I'm
They look absolutely perfect. I think overcooking them would just ruin what you would want out of the beans. Yeah?
Yeah. So always remember to give a nice toss. Now we can put other ingredients, like say suppose you like onions to it. You can give cut onions. You can cut them big sizes like this, like little bit.
Yeah.
And then you can add carrot to it, because carrots also doesn't take too long to cook. But the beans does, because we are putting them whole.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna add a little bit of garlic, the raw garlic on top, so that and then once we add like salt and everything, again it's gonna extract the moisture.
Yeah.
And it's gonna cook it together, because we're going to cover it again. So we're gonna add hoisin sauce a little bit, just for the sweetness.
Yeah.
Say about 2 tablespoons.
Okay.
Or 2 teaspoons, sorry. And then a little bit of, again, oyster sauce. This gives, oyster sauce gives a very good glaze to the vegetable.
Yes.
So the oil is doing its trick, the oyster sauce is doing its trick. Because we want our vegetables to be crunchy, right? So that is why, I am not trying to add much water to it. Because once I add salt, then I'll put it on low flame again, just for it to cook a little bit.
Yes.
It's gonna turn into that again. So, again, as I already added salt, I'm gonna be very careful this time. Add little bit just for the onions and for the carrot. Now it depends on you whether you want to put green onions also, but I feel that in vegetables, the more it is, the merrier it is. So we have put salt. Now we're going to put with the MSG a little bit, teeny tiny amount, and then we're going to mix them again. So now the onions are caramelizing, the beans are almost ready. The carrots are also cooking. So we're going to keep this in really low flame, or we can transfer it to a smaller flame. Then allow it to cook slowly in its own juices. But again, if you want to add, other sauces, you're free to. And then once you feel like you need to cover this, just cover this for a while, say for 5 minutes, and then your dish will be ready.
Yeah.
I have already chopped up few, green onions just for the plating, just for plating itself. You can put this on top, and then for the dandan, I have another style of cutting for the dandan. I always cut it like really long.
Okay. Yeah.
So it just looks like this instead of the normal ones which you see in hotels and all that. It just looks like that. So that is done, this is done, these two are done. And then now the vegetable cuts. So suppose if you want a little bit of hint of spiciness, we already have chili flakes. It gives a very nice aroma to it. So I would add a little bit because this is almost done. Stir it. And then we're going to just we're just going to let all the things mix together nicely, and then I'm going to cover it again. So till then I can get the plates ready for it. So our vegetables are already ready. As you see that now?
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to take this, cover this here. I find that this plate is really good. So, just put it there. So now we're going to garnish this whole dish together. So now for garnish, what we need is that we need a little bit of sesame seed.
Okay.
So I've already taken sesame seed. This
Yeah.
pan is clean. So we're going to roast the sesame.
Roasted.
So you can just take a small packet like this also, doesn't matter. Or if you have like, you know, already roasted sesame seed, but it's much better when you do it fresh.
Yes, yes.
So, you know, so we're going to put them inside. So this is almost done, which we see. We don't want it to smoke, or we don't want it to, you know, burn. So we are coming almost to that color. So I've lowered the flame because, you know, our pan is really getting hot. So you see,
Yes.
the color has changed.
Yes.
And then now you can use this, you can turn your gas off, you can take, you know, as I'm used to it. So I just put my hand inside and then, you know, just sprinkle it a little bit here. You know. And then, second start. Just there.
Mapo tofu, right?
Yes.
Then the
Dan
mein and the
stir fried beans.
stir-fried beans. Beautiful. It's really, really gentle on the palate.
Yes.
I think, like you've mentioned earlier, it's something like a comfort food.
Yes, yes.
But then made to look like a fast five-star dish. You know, this is amazing. This is lovely cooking, Dennis, and of course,
You gotta mix the whole thing
Yes,
together.
yes.
And then have it.
here comes the noodles. Perfect combination, lovely crunch. You have something really gentle on your palate with the tofu. You have a spiced up noodles for your dan mein because of your sauce, and a bite from your bok choy. And yes, lovely crunch and bite from your stir-fried beans with carrots and onions that are lovely glazed because of the sauces. You know, this is a very, very naturally made Oriental cuisine, the first of its kind I've ever had. Because of what we've seen today, I think you do a wonderful job at your institute as well. So, and with that, we shall close up our food diaries for this particular program. And Dennis, I would definitely like to have you back. We have limited time today, but we'll definitely accord a day again as to when to see some of your dishes again.
Sure.
So, our lovely audience, I hope you've enjoyed being with Dennis here at Food Diaries. Until we meet again, thank you.